Oh, shut up, shut up. Oh, the battle is in the firmament. The victory is in the firmament. The glory is in the firmament. The light is in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. Fight from the firmament. Win from the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. Fight from the firmament. Win from the firmament. The battle is in the firmament. The victory is in the firmament. Oh. The glory is in the firmament. The light is in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. There is war in the firmament. Fight from the firmament. Win from the firmament. Kashai ipapa lelelele kabali barabo shalabrahadus mahile belia babe shalai. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to do the continuity of the previous message, and I will advise, if you have not listened to the first part, please go, because it will help you to understand what I'm here to do, so you won't be confused. And I'm here to make you understand that the battle is in the firmament. The victory is in the firmament. The glory is in the firmament. The light is in the firmament. The government is in the firmament. You must understand that everything that functions here in this earth realm is controlled by the powers in the firmament. I have taught you before that the devil rules the world because he rules from the firmament, and the earth is going through hard time, is subdued and dominated by Satan, because the devil is operating through the sun and the moon. The Bible said the sun shall not smite thee again, nor the moon smite thee. So when the sun becomes a destroyer and the moon becomes an attacker, is a sign that there is a murderer operating from the sun and the moon. Is a sign that the devil lingers there to control the climax and to control the operations of things happening in the earth from there. And if a man must rule the world, he must rule from the firmament. If a man must control the world, he must control from the firmament. That is why when Jesus was birthed, the Bible said his star appeared in the sky, appeared in the firmament. Why? It was an indication of what he came to do, that he came to take over the firmament. He came to change the government. He came to take leadership from Satan. And then for you to understand the kind of leadership he came to operate, the Bible went further and explained to us that the star star led the wise men to where the child was born. Now the child was born and the body was in the earth, but the government of the child was in the firmament, because a man rules from the firmament. The government is in the firmament, not in the earth. So whatever we see in the earth is as a result of what is being orchestrated and devised in the firmament. So when they were led, they were not led wrong, they were led right. They came to the right place. So it means the government that is upon his shoulder, according to the book of Isaiah, is a government that will lead right, not lead wrong. Because before the star came, every other star that was in the sky, in the firmament, were static and stagnant. That is why our economy is static and stagnant. That is why the world is static and stagnant, as I have taught you before. Because the stars that are in the firmament, in other words, the ministries, the destinies that are in the firmament, has been made static and crippled by the poison of Satan. Satan has breastfed them, and they have drank from the brook of Satan's stupidity. And because of this, they are not mobile. Because of this, they are not moving. Because of this, they have been made crippled. So this kind of government can lead people. This kind of government can lead them right. So the government of Jesus, which is the light, has come to lead right. That was the message he was passing in the sky. The body was in the earth, but his star was in the sky, because leadership is being operated from the firmament. You fight there, you win there, and you reign from there. And if you study the book of Isaiah chapter 19, the Bible said, the sun shall be no more thy light by day. This is the promise of God concerning the New Jerusalem, as I have taught you. Neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Why? Because if you study verse 18, the Bible said, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting or destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy word salvation, and thy gate praise. So the sun was constituting the violence and the wasting in the land, because that was where the devil was operating from. So because of this which the sun has done by Satan's power over it, God had to remove the sun and remove the moon, because it was no longer doing what it ought to have been doing, because the devil was using the sun and the moon against mortals. So this sun and the moon has to go for the light of God to take over, because it is that light that will bring satisfaction to men. It is that light that will cause men to drink from the fountain of life, and they will not find rest and cease from laboring. So if you see that verse 19, it said, the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Verse 20, thy sun shall no more go down. Why? Because each time the sun goes down, the earth experiences violence. Each time the sun goes down, the earth experiences wasting. Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. The same thing is applicable to it. Each time the moon withdraw, things that are terrible begins to happen to the world. That is why the world is up and down, and the world is not stable. For the Lord shall be thy everlasting light. I'm reading verse 20. For the Lord shall be thy everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So the earth is mourning because there is a climax that is carried out wickedness against the earth, and not because the climax is naturally orchestrated to carry out wickedness, but because wickedness resides there to operate from there to turn the sun and the moon against men. Naturally, the sun should work photosynthesis and help the plant to grow. I'm speaking in riddles. But now, instead of it to bring photosynthesis, it is bringing destruction and wasting. So the plant that ought to grow is not dried, because what is coming out is not photosynthesis. What is coming out is violence. What is coming out is wasting and destruction. Men are not growing. Men are not experiencing height, because what is there is fighting it. So your government is not growing. Your spiritual life is poisoned, because the devil is controlling the world through the climax. Because in the climax there is air, and if you breathe in air. So what the world is taking in their soul and in their spirit is satanic, is poison. So that is why everything has fallen in obedience to the will of Satan. So when they say Satan rules the world, he was able to rule the world because he took over the what? Firmament. Just the same way he wanted to take over heaven, and the Bible said they fought him and threw him down. So when he came down, he became agitated. So he wanted to destroy humanity. So the only way he could have done that is by what? Taking over the firmament. And man ought to have controlled the world from the firmament, but man sold his dominion to the devil. That is why when Adam lost the battle in the garden, he did not know that even the firmament was part of the thing he lost. So the devil's power took over that firmament, and from there every seed that was bettered by man was now under the bondage of Satan, which he created from the firmament. So the world became static, the source of men became static because their stars are no longer mobile. You must understand that any man that is bettered into this world, his star resides in the firmament. So what does it indicate to you? It tells you that you should reign from the firmament. That is where your government is. So when God was telling Abraham, he said, look and count the stars, as many you can count. Do we have such number of what? Children? And he was able to list one. So when he was able to identify one, he got Isaac. So what God was trying to say is that destinies are in the firmament. So if destinies are conquered from the firmament and they fall down to this world, they can never reign. You become a mediocre. You will be trivialized and normalized when your star has fallen from what? The firmament. So the focus of Satan is to make sure that no outstanding star lingers in the firmament. It's either it makes it static or it casts it down. So when the light of Jesus, the star of Jesus, appeared in the firmament, the indication is that he has come to take over the firmament. But for him to gain that victory, there must be a what? A battle between him and the devil. And what was that battle? The first battle was that the devil came and introduced to him pleasure from his evil government, which is the flood I told you about. And in the case of the young prophet, I told you that that flood came in form of attack, came in form of what? Violence and destruction to destroy him. Do you know why? Because the young prophet did what Jesus did. When the devil offered Jesus the word, Jesus rejected it. So from that day, the devil was grieved. So he now turned the word against Jesus. That is why the Pharisees were not at peace with him. That is why the scribes were not at peace with him. That is why the priests attacked him. So there were haters everywhere. The seed of Satan could not affiliate with him because their father, the devil, who lives in them, was angry with him. So the earth was no longer comfortable for him. So they wanted him to leave the world because his presence was disturbing their government. So that is the same way the devil fought the young prophet from every corner, from every side, because he rejected the devil's offer. He refused to eat in the banquet with what? Nebuchadnezzar. So as many that were eating there, the devil didn't fight, which are your pastors. So the flood to them is what? The flood of pleasure, which he has destroyed them with. But to the young prophet is a flood of violence because he rejected the devil's offer. So when Jesus rejected it, when Jesus refused to be crippled, when Jesus refused his star to be stagnant and to be casted out of the firmament, what happened? It was battle. But for him to be able to take over the government completely, he needed to pay the price by dying on the cross. So when his blood came down, the blood was not actually dropping on the physical earth, but it was dropping in the firmament. That is why in Revelation the Bible said that he was dying in Egypt and Sodom, but in the physical he was dying in Calvary. And that Egypt and Sodom was not a physical Egypt and Sodom, but spiritual. And these powers are being operated in the firmament. That is why the Bible said by the mouth of Jesus that in the later days there will be many signs, and the sun will turn to blood. Why must the sun turn to blood? Because the blood need to stain the sun to be able to take over the government from what the sun was actually portraying in the earth. If you study the book of Revelation 12 that we taught before, let me teach you the mystery. Now the Bible said verse 1, Revelation 12 verse 1, and there appeared a great wonders in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now I'm teaching you this scripture again in another dimension. I'm trying to show you another face of this scripture, not what I taught before, but in alignment with what I taught before. Now the Bible said, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven. So wonders which you see here on earth, where they come from is the firmament. The heaven they are talking about now is not where God lives. No, God is in the heavens. We have the first, second, and third heaven. So God is in the heavens. So when you study your Bible, try to be conscious of words. You see heaven, you see heavens. So the heaven here is talking about what? The firmament. Now there was a wonder in what? In the firmament, the heaven, the first one. Now in that place they saw a woman that is clothed with sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now it means whatever wonders that you see here started from the firmament. It is what they devised there that takes over the earth. And the moon which was under her feet is the rulers of darkness. Follow me. I told you before that the earth is under what? His feet. Now the moon includes the what? The ruler of darkness, because the ruler of darkness are no longer in heaven. No, but they are casted into the earth after Michael and his angels fought them. So they became part of earth. The Bible said the devil now is in the earth and is moving around like a roaring lion seeking for one to devour. So when they said earth, it includes the powers in the earth and humans. So now these rulers of darkness operate by moon. That is why the Bible says the greater light rules in the day and the lesser light rules in the night. So they are not called rulers of darkness. So when Paul was teaching in Ephesians and said rulers of darkness, what he was trying to tell you is what? The moon. Because they operate through the moon. So as soon as the moon comes, they function from the moon. I know what I'm talking about. I have fought the moon in the spirit realm. In one of my upcoming sermons, I'm going to teach you this, how I fought the moon. So now you will understand that what he was saying is that the rulers of darkness will be under what? His feet, because of what? The destiny he came with, because he is building upon the victory which Jesus has already what? Brought through the price which he paid. So he's a continuity of what Jesus has done already when he came into this world, even before the foundation of the world. For the Bible said, worthy is the Lamb who was slain from the foundation of the world. So the victory was already what? Settled before it was what? Established here on earth. That is why he said God devised in heaven and established it here on earth. Now the Bible now said in verse 2, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Child of God, another wonder in the firmament. Now this one has to do with the devil. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. What does the tail represent? The tail of the devil is his deception. The tail of the devil is the devil's story. Have you not heard this word, fairy tale? Have you not heard tail bearer, those who bear tails? Now, the tail of the devil here is a riddle, that tail. So it means his lies, it means his deception. So by his deception, he was able to cast down stars. And who are these stars? These are generals. These are men with destiny. These are men with power, both in the church and in government. But they could no longer reign according to their original destiny. But why? Because the devil has casted them what? Down through deception. That was what the devil did to Eve in the garden. That was what he tried to do to Jesus, because he releases the flood through pleasure, in disguise of pleasure. And if you fall for it, your star will be casted down. But when you refuse, he gives you violence. And he still drew third part of the star of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. Why did they use the word the third part? Because this story now is connected to the young prophet, because the young prophet is the man anchoring the third testament, is the man anchoring the third dispensation. The first was Moses, who came with the law. The second is Jesus, who came with what? The grace and truth. So the young prophet is coming with the combination of the law and grace and truth. So in his time, in his generation, there are stars that came before him. There are stars that were in the earth when he came, and even after him. But these stars that are in the firmament were casted down through the devil's deception and lies. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now remember, as soon as Mary birthed Jesus, star appeared. So it wasn't the body that the devil was after, it was the star. It was the star, to cast the star down, even as he casted that of your generals down through lies and deception, through the pleasure he gave to them. That was the devil's target over this young prophet. So he wanted to destroy his star also, because he saw the government of this young prophet is the hope for the world. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Now, the devil realized that what this man is coming to do is the finished work of Christ. What this man is coming to do is the continuity of what Jesus has done. Jesus defeated the devil, wounded him and bruised him, but that bruise that Jesus gave to the devil is healing through the iniquity of your pastors in the church. So the devil need to receive another punch again, and this punch will be a fatality, the finishing of Satan. So the Satan is so afraid. So because of this, he now decided to tarry around the young prophet. Why? He has succeeded your pastors already. But if what he has built in the world that is wicked will be destroyed, it will be destroyed by the young prophet. And in order for these things not to be destroyed, he needs to destroy the man that is coming to destroy his work. So the destroyer is around a destroyer who comes to destroy what he has built. This is the mystery here. The Lord opened my eyes and he taught me mysteries, and these mysteries indicated that the devil is around the young prophet. Why? Because the devil is angry. The devil said that why should one man contain all this glory? Why should all this glory be given to one man? So because the glory that God has given to the young prophet is too much for a man, so the devil is around him to destroy him. That is one. And second, the young prophet is to destroy his government. The young prophet is to destroy what he has done in the church and in the world. So he knows that this man is carrying a man child. This man is carrying the hope and the light of the world that is going to take over the firmament the second time. So he's around him, but he has succeeded your pastors already. So the only enemy he has now, the only threat to him is the young prophet. Verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Verse 7, and there was war where? In heaven. So there is war in the firmament. The war is not here on earth. Every war that occurs here on earth is as a result of the war that is done in the firmament. It's as a result of the war that is going on in the firmament. So a man that must win his war, a man that must come with victory, must go to the firmament, must ascend there, because that is where leadership is bettered. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. So that is the tail that he used to cast down the stars. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So it means they are in the earth, they are with men. So when you are looking for the devil, look around the earth. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them before our God day and night. Now if you look, you will discover that the kingdom of Christ came after the devil was casted out of the firmament. The kingdom of Christ came after the devil was defeated. So the government of Satan was defeated in the firmament. That is why the government of Christ took over. So the battle is what? In the firmament. So you must understand your destiny from the firmament. Be astrological. That is why I come to teach you time and season. That is why I come to teach you prophetic and astrological sermons, because this is where the full salvation which Jesus brought is bettered and encapsulated. So any man that wants to find this treasure must check astrology and check prophecy. And that is why we have astrologers in the Bible. That is why we have stargazers. The Chinese, the Gentiles understand these things, but those in the church are void of this understanding. They look at stars to understand time and understand what is bettered and know how to overcome it or support it. Verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of what? The Lamb. So it was the battle which Jesus fought on the cross that what overcame Satan, that took over the firmament from Satan. The blood. That is why the sun will turn blood. And by the word of their testimony, knowledge about Jesus prophetically and astrologically is what will give you this victory. And they love not their lives unto death. They love not. So your pastors love their lives. Jesus said, if you find your life, you will lose it. But if you lose your life, you will find it. So your pastors went for pleasure. and the devil destroyed them through the flood of the pleasure which they took, and unknown to them that what they actually took was toxicant, was poison, was venom. 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens. He didn't say rejoice heaven, he said rejoice ye heavens. So it is not the first heaven, it is not the second heaven, but the third heaven where God and his angels are. So he said, therefore rejoice ye heavens. It means the inhabitant of heavens. That is why they use the word ye heavens. So they say, oh ye earth, because you dwell in earth. So ye heavens means those who dwell in heaven should rejoice. Why? And ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So the devil has come to the earth with his wrath. So if your spirit is in the earth, woe to you. But if your spirit is in heaven, then blessed are you. So those who must survive must take their spirit up to God. That is why the child was caught up to God, to the throne of God. That is the heavens. The Bible said in the book of Psalm, for thy throne is in heavens. In heavens, not heaven. So that is where the throne of God is. And if you study another part of Psalm, the Bible said, for thou dwellest in heavens. Thou dwellest in heavens. Psalm 115 verse 3, thou dwellest in heavens. So you must understand this mystery. Thou dwellest in heavens, not heaven, not the first, not the second. So as men whose spirit will be caught up and stay there, they will be saved. But if your spirit is here, that flood will drown you. Verse 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Are you seeing that? So the flood can come in pleasure, and it can come in form of violence and wasting, depending the one your decisions and your actions cause for. Then what now happened? For the woman to find safety, what happened? Verse 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up what? The flood. Why? Because when the spirit of this woman was taken up to God, the body was there. Why will they tell you that God gave her wings and she was taken up to the wilderness, and they gave her a place there? And they later told you that her body, that she was found in the earth again. Study verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. Are you seeing that? Into her place where she is nourished for a time and times, and half a time from the face of, and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. So they didn't want him to operate under the face of the serpent, so that the sun and the moon will not smite him. The soul now, not the flesh, because the flesh was suffering, but the spirit was with God. Now they now told you in verse 16 after 14 that and the earth helped the woman. What did the earth help the woman from? From the flood. Where was the flood? Was it in the wilderness where God was? No, but in the earth. So it means it was the spirit that went up. Men didn't see this because it was spiritual, but the body was with men in the earth, and the devil came through violence to destroy the young man. But God helped him through men in the earth who he has reserved and whose heart is with him, and those who he can minister to help him. So through suffering, much hardship, the devil wanted to kill him, to break him. Since he has refused to eat from the devil's pleasure, then let him now be broken through violence. But he was already broken through the word of God. So the devil could not undo what God has already done in the life of this young man. Now I continue my reading. Which the dragon cast out of his mouth, which is the flood now. Verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandment of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So when the dragon could not defeat the young prophet, he went to make war with his seed by interpretation. Now, do you know that the whole earth is given to him? That is why the Bible said the moon is under his feet. And I told you that includes the inhabitants of the earth and the devil, because the devil is dwelling in the earth. And the moon is a symbol of rulers of darkness, and they are in the earth. So everything in the earth is under his feet. So the seed, her seed now are those who are dwelling in the earth that are not yet corrupted by the dragon and his demons. if you study, you discover the Bible said, he said, and the dragon was wroth with him, with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. The remnant, it means those that have not bowed. It means those that have not given in to his proposal, which keepeth the commandment of God, not the ones that have backslided, not the ones that are already manipulated, no, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So the ones that are remaining, but physically they are not submitting under him yet, are sons and daughters. But in the spirit, that is how angels see them. That is how God sees them, because God has delivered the word under his feet. That is the message. So these are other young prophets and young prophetess. These are believers and Christians who have not yet bowed. And these believers are suffering. Why are they suffering? Because they are still under the face of what? The sun. And the sun is fighting. The sun is destroying, because they have refused to bow. They have refused to drink. But when these people will experience the pleasure of God, is when this climax will be defeated. Is when this sun will go. It is when this moon will go. And when this happens, God shall not be their everlasting light, according to the prophecies of Isaiah. So when God not be their everlasting light, they will not be lifted. When they will not be lifted, those that were on top before, by the means of Satan and his devices, they shall go down, because they shall not inherit the New Jerusalem. And you must understand that the devil calls some people by the power of the sun and the moon. Now, because the firmament controls the earth, so because he has taken advantage of the firmament, he cannot minister revelations to people in disguise of God or angels. That is why the Bible said that even the devil has transformed into an angel of light. So marvel ye not if his apostles transform into the apostles of what? Christ. So the light in the firmament has been manipulated, and by that light the devil can minister light into your life, and that light is not the original light, but a false light, a light that can bring you into delusion. So by the reason of that star there, his star there, now he now controls your destiny through false vision. If you have watched a film called The Legend of the Seeker, you will discover that there was a time that the seeker was sleeping, and the enemy called Dankaro used the moon against him. So by that moon, he was able to give Seeker a dream. And that dream, he was trying to get secrets from Seeker. In the physical, he was interacting from the moon. And Seeker was in the dream and was receiving dream as if the people talking to him are his friends. The enemy was using the face of his friends to question him. And whatever answer he now gives to the enemy, now who he thought that they are his friends, will now get to the enemy who is standing and speaking to him from the moon. So from there, he will now know how to destroy the seeker. That is how the devil operates through the moon against you. So many of you were not caught. You were caught by the devil through the help of the moon. You received dream from the moon and you thought it was God. You received dream from the sun and you thought it was God. And you entered ministry, and when you now entered ministry, all you started doing was satanic, and you felt you were doing the right thing because there is a voice instructing you to do those things. And why some of you who were actually called, your calling was like manipulated and corrupted. And when the devil succeeded you, you now thought that you are still right with God because you were first called by God, but you didn't know that they have exchanged your calling, because the devil offered you the pleasure of this world and you took it, and from there you were corrupted. So he started speaking to you from the moon and from the sun, and by this he has destroyed your destiny. Someone was speaking to me, and when he was done saying some certain things and he was being prophetic, as soon as he ended the call, the Lord told me, he said that this is the ministry that will make you cry. And I meditated on the word and realized that God was telling me to be careful, that if I should mingle or entangle with such a person, that I will weep in the later end, because the ministry was not of God. And I began to ask God questions about him, and the Lord said, this is the man that has gone astray. I said, how? And the Lord said, I am innocent. So God is innocent of what happened to him. So the devil went to him in form of God and gave him some administrations, gave him some orientations that will kill him, and he thought it was God, not knowing that the victory of Satan over the world was birthed from the firmament. And if the devil must be defeated, it will be from the firmament. So the war that we are fighting is not an earthly war, it's a firmamental battle. It's a firmamental battle. Let me show you a mystery concerning the young prophet in Psalm 91. Now, this is a scripture that they taught you religiously, but you don't know it's prophetic. You must understand Psalm and understand the songs of Solomon. You must understand that these people come to sing prophecy. They come to sing mystery. It's not all you see in the Bible are psalms that are present. Some are future. In one of David's psalms, which is sung, the Bible said that he said, I see my Lord, telling my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. Was it not prophetic? In another, he said, my own familiar friend, who did it with me, has lifted up his heel against me. He said we didn't commune, we went to the house of God together. So all these things were prophecies concerning Jesus and Judas. So in this Psalm 91 is a prophecy also, but your pastors taught you this religiously, and you can turn it to prayer point. Yes, the word of God or all scriptures are by the inspiration of God, and they are profitable for doctrine. Now you can build doctrine from it, you pray with it by faith, and it will work for you. But I told you that everything that is noted down here, they are noted down with intentions. You must know the intention. Now the Bible said, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Now where was that woman dwelling? Was it not the secret place of God, the wilderness? Whose shadow was he? Was it not the shadow of God, so that the devil cannot access him, so that the moon cannot smite his spirit, even though his flesh is suffering? The Bible said, though we die daily, our inward man is renewed day by day. So the flesh died daily because the flesh is still under the sun, is among men. So it suffers because it has refused to bow. But the spirit, the inward man, is with God, and they are renewing it day by day. They are nourishing it. As the Bible said, the woman was what? With God, and was nourished. Now, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Why will you trust God? Because you can't trust anything that is earthly, because anything that is earthly is under the firmament. And so long it's under the firmament is above it. And if the firmament is above it, the devil who operates from the firmament what supersede it. So anything that you trust here on earth will fail you, because the devil's son does not bring photosynthesis. It comes to dry it. It comes to bend everything toward his will. So you have to trust the man who is above the firmament, who lives in the heavens. So that is where you will find refuge, your spirit and your soul. Verse 3, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. It was a message to a man. David, the psalmist was singing a song to a man. He was passing a message. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisy pestilence. Noisy what? Pestilence. Where does pestilence come from if not from the firmament? When you hear Ebola, when you hear COVID-19, where are they coming from? If not, they are gaseous disease, they are epidemic, they are pandemic. So it's a widespread of disease that comes gaseously. So it's from the air, the firmament. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisy pestilence. Why did they use the word snare? Because it's a trap. The devil comes to trap the world with his devices. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. What helped the woman to escape the devil? It was the wings. The wings of a great eagle, and that eagle is God. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. He followed truth and not lies, which the devil used to cast down every other stars. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. Why? Because in the night the moon comes to smite, for the arrow that flieth by day, because in the day the sun comes to destroy violently. 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday. So the pestilence comes from the moon. The pandemic you hear came from the moon. And the violence, the destruction comes from what? The sun. Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. That is why your generals has fallen. Because the stars in the sky, in the firmament, were falling. The devil used his state to bring them down, but he could not succeed the star of the woman, because that star was hidden under the government of God. Verse 8, only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. So he saw the wicked men of God falling. This is prophetical. and they will fall physically when he shall arrive. Verse 9, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge. Are you seeing that? Because thou is prophecy. The man is saying, because thou, he's speaking to a man. The psalmist is a representative of a spirit that is communicating to a certain man. So he's not saying, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge. So he's not saying your refuge now, mine, because the man speaking is a man who believes in God, and is not talking to another man who believes in God. That because you have what made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. So where did the woman dwell? He went to go and dwell under God. Verse 10, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling. Because the devil went about plaguing the souls of people and plaguing the body of people. Verse 11, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. To dash your foot is to stumble into the devil's trap for you. That's why the Bible said he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler. So they shall bear thee up in their hands, lest or else. So if he's not controlled by angels, governed by angels, his leg, in other words, his ministry will hit stone, will jam rock. Many of you are going through spiritual accidents. You see yourself in the dream riding car, all of a sudden it hits the rock. So what God is telling you, that your ministry has hit the rock. So you have the devil set trap, bait, and you fell into it. 13, thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder. Follow me. He said he shall tread upon what? The lion. Because why? The moon is under his feet. Thou shalt tread upon the lion. And who is this lion? The devil. The Bible says he's like a roaring lion. Where is he operating? The earth, going about the earth. So now the young prophet will tread upon the lion and the adder. What is the adder? The serpent, the old dragon the Bible talked about. He's going to trample, even as Jesus stepped on the serpent. He bruised the serpent. The young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet. Under what feet? The moon is under his feet. The earth, the Satan, and all that dwell under his feet. But he will save humanity and destroy brutality that comes to brutalize the world, which is the devil and his angels. The Bible said the seed of the woman shall what? Trample, shall tread, shall bruise the seed of the serpent. So when Jesus came, bruised the serpent. So the ministry of the young prophet, which is the seed of the woman, which is Christ, that is with a rod of iron, that ministry is going to what? Bruise the kingdom of Satan. That government of Christ that is carrying is going to bruise the government of Satan. Theocracy will take over the world and it will destroy democracy. 14, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. So he knows God's name, and he sets his love on God, not on the things of this world. The love which your pastors have, they have it for the things of this world. That is why they treasure the world. The Bible said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if a man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So the love of the Father is not in your pastors. So what they have in them is the love of the world. That is why they are drowned by the flood that came to salvage the world. When God wanted to preserve Noah, he used an ark, and it was flood that destroyed the earth. 15, he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. 16, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. God told me, he said that the young prophet is going to live 160 years. But each time he commits sin, the years will minus. The years will minus. So he's going to satisfy him with long life. Because of what? His what? Requisite. Because of his qualities. Because of his characters and attributes. So all these things which the Bible talked about that made God to receive him and to love him and to protect him and give him exceptional protection in the earth is what will also give him that long life. But when he starts committing sin like your pastors, the number will begin to deduct. These are the things God showed me. And when the Bible told you shall tread upon the lion, which the Bible describes the devil as a roaring lion, he didn't tell you the nature of this lion when it comes to complexion. But God has opened my eyes and I have seen the devil as a roaring lion. It's not the normal color of lion that you know. That lion is black. It's black. I mean extremely black, horrific and gruesome. I've seen this lion. It is very black. Very black. So that is the lion that is in the earth. And with that blackness, he has blackened the mind of your pastors and has planted wickedness in their hearts, blackened the mind of your government and has planted his poison in their hearts. And that is why the nation has been blackened. That is why the nation is mourning. That is why wickedness is in the earth, and the whole earth is lying in wickedness, as the Bible said. And the Bible said the heart of man is extremely wicked, because what came to dwell with them, dwell among them, is wickedness. So that is why the Bible said the tabernacle of God will come and dwell among men in the earth. And once that tabernacle comes, he will drive the devil, because the devil was driven first in heaven. So if the earth must experience peace, God need to drive the devil from that earth. God would need to drive the devil from that earth, and he will do that by the hand of the young prophet. That is where the victory is. So it will start from the firmament, then it will control the earth. So there will be no place found for him. So now the devil is making use of the earth because he has limited time. God gave him time, so he's making use of the earth and he's making use of the firmament. Why did God allow him to use the sun and the moon? Because the sun and the moon has limitations compared to what the light of God, the everlasting light of God, can do for humanity. So now the devil will now use it so that God can remove it. So that is why the devil has power over it, because the perfect plan of God is for him to be the everlasting light in the world, so that men will not what experience up and down, up and down. Today you laugh, tomorrow you cry. So you must understand these mysteries, that the battle is in the firmament. The battle is won in the firmament. The victory is there. This is the voice of heaven, Son of David. Wisdom is crying in the street of youth.